Three times in Shachrit, we recite Kedusha. One is so well known because it's what we call Kedusha, the Kedusha of Chazarat Hashatz. When the Shaliach Tzibur repeats the Shmona Esrei, and we say, Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, we will sanctify God's name in this world, and then say the words of Kadosh, 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 holy, 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 Hashem Tzvakot, God of hosts, Meloch ha'aretz, Kvodo, who fills the entire world with his glory. And yet in the Gemara, the one Kedusha that is referred to as a Kedusha is known as the Kedusha de Sidra. Those words of Kedusha that we recite during the Uvalet Zion, where we explain the words of Kedusha via the Targum, the translation into Aramaic that is found, Sefer Shmot and Sefer Yechezkel and Sefer Yeshayahu. And yet, the Kedusha of Yotzer Or is the first Kedusha that we encounter. It's a Kedusha that, according to the Rashba and the Rambam, should only be recited with a minyan, just like the Kedusha during Chazarat Hashatz. And yet, ultimately, we maintain, according to the Rosh and the Talmidei Rabbeinu Yonah and others, that we're able to say it even when we're davening on our own. It's a Kedusha that begins with a description of the angels. Hofanim v'chayot hakodesh, how all of them recite the Kedusha before God in heaven. And the question is, what is the reason for the order of the three? Why do we begin by describing how the angels praise God, then move to praising God ourselves, and only afterwards do we explain the words of Kedusha into the vernacular, into the Aramaic? One suggestion might be, because that's the way we transmit our practice and our ritual. That's how we teach our children to be Jewish. The first thing we do is we provide for them role models. We show them how it's done. The Malachim and the Srafim, they are the role models for how to praise God. And then we practice it with our children. We do it ourselves, just as we say in the Kedusha of the Chazarat Hashatz, Nekadesh, let us now sanctify God. And then finally, we learn about it. We try to understand it. We teach our children the reasons behind it all, and that's the Uvalet Zion. Sometimes people think the way we should teach our children is to give them the intellectual exercise and only later ask them to perform the mitzvot. But the reality is we need to be role models, and then we need to engage them and make them do mitzvot. And as they grow older, we can continue to teach them about those mitzvot. But don't wait until they're older. Start when they're young. Show them, practice with them, and then teach them. That might be the lesson of the three times we say Kedusha, the first in Yotzer Or, the second in Chazarat Hashatz, and the third in Uvalet Zion.